Hello, this is just my professional development plan, Reflection 2. I'm just going to talk about all the clinical rotations I was at. Some things I did great, some things I did poorly. Well, maybe not poorly, but I think I could improve on. And then kind of just reflecting on my goals that I set at the beginning of the semester. So, this semester was kind of all wacky. The only consistent place I kind of stayed in was Southeast Polk with Devin Shannon. That was the one that was there for maybe like 8 weeks, just over half the semester and a little bit more. The other two places I was at was North High School and Dr. Spooner's office. So I'm going to start with North High School since I was there first. It went well. Zebulon or Zeb was my preceptor. He was a very nice guy. I mean, it was Taylor and I there, and he kind of helped get us into the athletic training, kind of made us feel a little bit comfortable there. However, we were only there for 2 weeks, sadly, or 2 or 3 weeks, and we got to know him, but didn't get to know him as much as we probably wanted to, and that was due to COVID shutting it down. There wasn't too much there. I mean, and then we started taping, did some ankles. He started teaching us just kind of all the different types of tape and how to do them. Even though we learned that previously, he kind of helped review it with us. Then I went to Dr. Spooner's office for a couple weeks. It went well. It was more different. It was a different type of setting. A lot of patient encounters. We just went patient to patient. And a lot of them had to do with like head injuries, headaches, migraines, concussions, and just kind of checkups. So it was kind of repetitive. We got to see some cool stuff every once in a while, but I mean, it's probably the same thing every day that I went there. Nothing too different. I guess one thing I would have improved on is I guess I could have dressed a little bit better, but we've been over that. And for future references, I will do that. So, and then the last place I was at was Southeast Polk. That's probably my best of the experiences. I was there with Devin for 10 weeks. Very nice. He tested me every single day. I mean, my knowledge expanded greatly while I was with him. And at the beginning, some of my goals were to get comfortable where I was, comfortable with the taping, I was just comfortable with taping, comfortable just being in the environment that I am and deal with basic injuries. So halfway through the semester, I didn't really feel comfortable with that yet, mainly because I was just bouncing all over the place. I mean, I went from Zeb's North High School to where I was taping to Dr. Spooner's, in which I wasn't taping for 2 to 3 weeks, to Devin having to relearn how to tape. I mean, we did it every single day he would show me how to do it properly and do it his way. And that helped a lot. I mean, he wanted to get it down, and I think I accomplished that goal. And towards the end of the semester, I started taping frequently, from wrist tapes all the way to ankle tapes, and it was a good learning experience. Being able to deal with basic injuries, I was doing patient evals every single day I was there. A new person would come in, and Devin would just be like, "All right, Nick, go there and do a patient eval." Goes and tells the patient, he's like, "Hey, it's my Grandview student. He's just going to do an eval on you, and I'll come over after and confirm what it is, or tell you what's a little bit different." So I'd be doing the patient evals, and it obviously helped with class as well because we had that patient eval as well. I felt very confident with that. I think I got that correctly, and so all this has been starting to click with me. I can deal with basic injuries too. I've been doing eval, and then I can go right into taping if I need to, saying, okay, this is you have an ankle sprain and you can still walk on him, Devin would be like, you can go back to playing basketball. Nick's just going to tape you up real quick. So all these things kind of lined up, and I could really see myself grow throughout the semester, which is nice. And I think that was the big thing with me. And then when it came to feeling comfortable being an athletic trainer, I think it kind of all wraps into what I've been saying. But like the big thing is, Devin pointed out he wanted me to feel comfortable with asking people, hey, what's your injury, right as they walk through the door. So after that midterm reflection, I went and, people would come through the door and be like, hey, what's your injury? He's like, all right, what do you need? And, they'd be like, oh, I just sprained my, ankle. I'd ask down, I'm like, hey, can I just do a patient eval on him? He's like, yeah, go right ahead. Get him on the table, do my own patient eval on him. And then I'd give it to Devin, and Devin would, come to the conclusion what it is. I'd fill out a SOAP note every single time for someone I did a patient eval, and Devin would go over it with me while we were while we were in the athletic training room. One last thing, at the end of the semester, Devin and I had a conversation of what I can do better, and he said I did a very good job in pretty much everything, and it's hard for him to find points in which I kind of struggled in. He's like, the only thing he can really think of is, maybe the testing. When he's testing me, make sure I just keep reviewing it nonstop, so every day he comes back and asks me, I know it like right in a snap. And then he said, just keep applying everything that you learn into class in the actual athletic training room, and it's gonna help you a lot. Those are the only big critiques that he had with me, and I believe I can do that for my next rotation.